Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel for another video. Happy Tuesday. I hope that you are having a great start to your week so far. So first off, it is super gloomy right now. So I hope that the lighting is okay for today's video. I live in North Carolina, and so we're in the middle of like that tropical storm or whatever it is that's going on right now. So yeah, it's raining, it's gloomy outside, it's going to be for days. And so if I want to film anything, the lighting might just suck a little bit. So that is what that's about. But today we are going to be talking about microdosing. Now, I want to start this video off by saying that I am not a healthcare professional. I'm just a girl who lost a lot of weight on a GLP-1 medication and loves to research and loves to share my journey with you guys. So always talk to your healthcare professional before you make any medical decisions, before you do anything with adjusting your dosaging or anything like that. Let's be smart. And now there's somebody mowing the lawn right next door. Do y'all hear that? Hopefully that's not too loud and too annoying, but why are we even mowing the lawn in a hurricane? You missed her. Okay, anyways, that's what we got working with us today. But anyway, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a healthcare professional. Always talk to your doctor before you make any medication changes. So over the past, I would say 6-ish months, microdosing has become a pretty hot topic in the GLP-1 space, in content creators talking about it, different Facebook groups and Reddit threads or whatever. This topic comes up quite often. If you do a simple search, you will see that. And I think it's for really good reason. I think that a lot of people are starting to figure out that microdosing can be really beneficial in terms of GLP-1 use. Not only for managing weight, but also if you are somebody that has type 2 diabetes as well. So let's just go ahead and kind of delve into what microdosing could do for you on your GLP-1 journey. So most of us here know that the GLP-1 medications are mimicking the GLP-1 hormone in your body, the glucagon-like peptide in your body that is responsible for managing glucose levels and also helps with appetite suppression and feeling satiated and all of that. Now, one really big downside to this hormone, naturally or non-naturally, is that it depletes in your body really quickly. So the natural form of the hormone does not reproduce fast enough to keep up with how quickly your body depletes it. And the way that we see this in the GLP-1 medication space is the half-life on the medicine. So in this world, we like to call it riding the wave. So, you have your 1 week shot cycle, right? So you take your shot on day 1, and then days, 2, 3, sometimes 4, you have great sugar levels. If you're diabetic, you have awesome appetite suppression. Your food noise is completely gone. All of the things that we love to see on this medicine. And then once you hit day 4, so you went up the wave, then you kind of peak and you go back down. So you start having more appetite, your sugar levels are slightly different, slightly worse than they were earlier in the week. And then you sort of go down until you take the shot again. And then it's this constant wave-like cycle. So people that are microdosing are actually attempting to completely avoid this wave-like cycle. And then therefore avoiding the changes in medication level in your body and the half-life of the medicine. So the thought process is that over time you start your microdosing, you see very even levels of the medicine. And so we're not a wave anymore, we're a flat line. And that could be astronomically more beneficial in managing diabetes and managing weight. So there was an article that I read for this video that I found absolutely amazing. The author of the article, I'm going to read from here because I want to make sure I get her title correct. Clara Hatanova, which I'm sure I'm not saying that right, but she is a postgraduate researcher in experimental psychology at the University of Oxford. So she is a smart gal, love to see it. And she wrote this article for MetaSearch. I'm going to link it below, but this article is amazing. Awesome article. Like, I'm going to refer people to this article for literally everything now because it is such a well-written, easy to understand article, not only on microdosing, but also on how the GLP-1 works in the body and how the medications aim to mimic it in the body and how it all really works. Like really getting into the sciencey stuff of it, but in a way that you can understand it. So I definitely recommend reading this article. But in her article, she does talk a lot about microdosing. She goes into great detail on all of that. But her biggest thing within this article is talking about how microdosing can be so effective for managing specifically blood sugar levels. Because if you can imagine, if you're somebody that's a really uncontrolled diabetic, and you're having a lot of trouble controlling your blood sugar levels, you could imagine how the cycle of the week shot where you have that downward trend could be concerning for a diabetic. And so she even speaks in the article about how several different researchers over the years have thought, different options for keeping levels more level. One of them being a pump, which, you do see lots of pump medications in type 1 diabetics. I don't think you see that at all as often as in type 2 diabetes, but that even like a pump type system could work for administering this medication. The problem with microdosing right now, and she touches on this in the article, is how they're in at least in America, are in single dose pens for the most part, except for Eli Lilly just very recently releasing vials. So in theory, you could microdose with the Eli Lilly smaller 2.5 and 5 milligram dosages now. And you could obviously microdose with compound, which is definitely the most cost-efficient way to do it right now. If you were to microdose with the Eli Lilly ones, you're dealing with having to buy more than one. Because if you're on like 10 milligrams, say you want to take 5 milligrams twice a week, then you're going to have to pay for 2 months to get a full month. You know what I'm saying? So that's still probably not the most cost-effective way to do it. But essentially what you would do, so I kind of just explained it there, is you would say you're on 10 milligrams, you would take 5 milligrams on day 1 and 5 milligrams on day 4-ish, and you would just keep that cycle up. So you're taking the medicine in a lesser amount more often to keep it level in your body. Now, there's not been any like long-term studies done on this that I could find as of late, but if we're just thinking logically, it does make sense. And I do think that there is a lot of reason why this is becoming a hot topic lately, especially again, I don't know that it is so necessary in weight loss. I've not done it myself. I know people who do it, and I know people that have done it. I do know that it can even out your levels of appetite suppression, but I think that it is a really interesting thing to speak of in terms of diabetics. Now, again, most often you have diabetics being approved, and so they're getting these single dose pens, and so that's a whole issue. There's so much stuff going into all of this, right? Like there's so much crap that is, if it was this way, then we could do it this way. And if it was done this way, then we could better do it this way. But science and research is still trying to catch up to this new, thing, and not what they were expecting it to be. They were expecting it to be a diabetics medication. And so, surprise, surprise, it makes people astronomically healthier in so many other ways. And so, they're still trying to catch up, right? And how to best do it all. But hopefully we'll get there. I'm going off on a tangent now that is not necessarily related to microdosing. But yeah, if you do a simple Google search, there are a ton of things that come up in terms of people that have been microdosing their Mounjaro, their tirzepatide, their semaglutide for a while, and that they have lost. They report much better appetite suppression over the course of their shot week versus people who take it weekly. There's even some people who are on maintenance now that are spreading their shots out, and so they're going the opposite direction, and that has worked for them. I was one that was taking like 10 milligrams branded Mounjaro once every 2 weeks, and that was working great for me. I was maintaining my weight loss. In fact, when I was doing it every 2 weeks, I was actually maintaining, and when I went back to weekly injections with compound, I started losing again. So There's so much that needs to still be figured out. And so you have microdosing, you have macro dosing, so trying to dose less often. I think that this is going to be a process of people just figuring out what works for them. But I do think this is really cool and a really good option, and in a way that we have further developed our understanding of this medicine, that it does have this half-life that can make the medicine less effective the second half of the week. And so if you're somebody who really notices that, if you're somebody who really depletes the hormone faster than other people, microdosing may be for you. I really hope that sometime within the near future, we see a test come out that is able to test for GLP-1 levels in your body. We have tests for all other types of hormones, so like, why wouldn't this be something that we could test? But I think it would be really interesting to be able to look at me versus you and see what my levels are, how fast my body depletes them. So like, you know, taking levels the day I do the shot and then taking levels again right at the end of my shot cycle. Like, this could be a whole research study and I'm sure I'm not the first one that has thought of this, but it would be really interesting to further delve into individuals' bodies and see the way that their hormone levels are, so that we can further figure out how to individually treat people. You know what I'm saying? I think that would be really cool. So some doctor that's watching my video, get on that, so that we can all know our hormone levels, because we all want to know. We all want to know. Everybody does. I think that it would be cool. I keep saying that, but I think it would be interesting. I'll change my word choice to see how people that are fast responders and people that are slow responders to tirzepatide, what their levels are. Don't you think that would be interesting to know? Because I think, I've said this before, I think it all ties back to that, to our natural levels of the hormones. I think that we could assume that people that respond faster to the medicine had less of it, and people who don't respond maybe didn't have as much of a natural deficiency of the hormone. You know what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? Okay. Anyway, I went off on a tangent. That's not necessarily related to microdosing, but then in some way maybe it is. So tell me what you think. If you're somebody that microdoses, I want to know about it. I want to know how you've been doing on it. I'm actually considering giving it a go for my own benefit and seeing how it works for me, but also so that I can like report as somebody who has done it back to you guys. I might do that because I compound. So I have the medication to be able to adjust my dosages. I will shoot a message to my doctor first and make sure he's okay with that. But maybe that's something I'm gonna experiment with if he's okay with it, and let you guys know about it. Let me know if you would like to see that. Again, drop any video suggestions down below that you may have. I would love to hear those as well, things that you guys want to hear me talk about. And yeah, thanks for all the love yesterday on my little birthday vlog. Again, hope you enjoyed that one. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Let me know what you thought. Go read that article by Clara. It's awesome. Seriously, if you want a breakdown of how everything works, go read that article. If you're like a sciencey nerd like me, go read that article. It was like so fascinating. So yeah, I'll link that one down below. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I will see you tomorrow. Have a great day, guys. Bye.